Hey guys, I just had to come on again real quick. I don't normally do this. I was ironing my clothes for work tomorrow, and I happened to be going through my old video. The reason I'm doing this live is so that it uploads faster, because when I actually just record a video, it doesn't come through correctly. So if you happen to jump on, thanks for coming back. I'll have a chance to share this info with you live. But for some reason, I had it in my spirit to research the Bible verse. I think it was either today or yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was today, though. Might have been yesterday. I had it in my mind to research the Bible verse that says that the Antichrist will have no regard or like inclination towards women, meaning that he is a homosexual. And I found the verse. Many might already know it, but it's Daniel 11:37 through 38. And the King James Version is the one that interprets it in a way that matches what I'm going to be speaking about. Hi, Lisa. How are you? So this just happened live, guys. I found it. I don't know what the Lord led me to this. I'm telling you the truth. The Lord led me to this. So I'm at my own video we just finished tonight, Superman equals Satan Part 2. I'm at in the video. If you go to this is the newest video besides this one I'm doing right now, which will upload shortly. So in the video, Superman equals Satan Part 2. This guy who speaks to demons, who created the Superman comic, the modern Superman version that says Superman is God in the comics, and falsely claims that it's a Gnostic. And he's probably talking about the satanic version of Gnosticism, not the Nag Hammadi codices where it says it's Gnostic. Gospels that were dug up in Qumran in the 1940s and 50s and stuff like that. So at around the 31-minute mark, I'm going to show you how this matches. I'm going to read Daniel 11:37 through 38. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. Remember that portion. That's 37. Nor the desire of women. That's why I searched that verse out. The Antichrist will have no desire for women. And Barack Obama is said to be a homosexual by, I think it was like, not the mayor of Chicago, but like a prominent lawyer in Chicago wrote a book about him and Obama smoking crack together and having sex all the time. They had a sexual relationship. There's also a black man that had a sexual relationship with Obama, and Michelle is really Michael, and that is a transsexual, and Joan Rivers was murdered for saying that on national television. So, hey Robin, how are you? So I need you to remember this portion right now, and then we're going to go to the video. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. And this is speaking of the Antichrist. This is the prophecy of Daniel. Now listen to this. I'm going to turn the camera around and listen to what this guy says. I'm going to show you the part.
This Gnostic light granted to propagate has been effectively spread, much like a religion.
Being fans of something, be it from to Superman and anything else, the real diehard fans, I think there's almost a reason that they call us all disciples in a weird way, because I do think there's that connection of mythology that we all take it so personally, because it is, in a lot of weird ways, people are going to hate me for saying it's religion or mythology. It's our guideline to get our moral code and our integrity and our courage. We actually use them as a basis. And then it made me think, well, if that's the case, and it actually is, like pop culture is actually the new mythology. So if that's the case, like what a crazy power that any of us wield. I described it to him as it's almost like you're doing an ongoing series of the Bible.
If Grant, along with the comic book industry, is writing an ongoing series of the Bible, then Grant does so with the guidance of Gnostic faith. What is his biggest contribution?
In the late 80s, Morrison was working on handling to control.
series were great, critically acclaimed, but they weren't very popular characters necessarily. But then
Hold on, I'm gonna go too far. Hold on one second.
Solid.
I think I have to go to 30 minutes. Hold on.
Also, I thought it was great time, and he broke him down in tears.
Oh, this is the part here, sorry.
Just delirious, man. Delirious. And suddenly this giant column of light comes through the door.
This is the part here.
This is one of the most amazing hallucinations I've ever had.
Watch this. Another picture of
First
Christ.
thing he said was the thing in the corner. Just this voice suddenly announced itself. I am not the God of your fathers. I am the...
You hear what he just said? So he has an English accent, and you're hearing a video off of a video. So I'm sorry, that's hard to hear. He said, in this, it's on the screen. You can read it for yourself. I don't know if you can see that right there. Hold on, right there. If you can read that, you can go back and watch the video. Read it for yourself. This portion is at 31 minutes and 12 seconds. It says in the written version on the screen and what he's saying out loud, I am not the God of your fathers. That's what he said in the thing. That's what the thing that when he was dying, because the character in his comic book was dying and he was starting to take on those ailments that were in the comic book. No, this is a guy that wrote the Superman comics. So he said in this thing, he's saying, 31 minutes and 12 seconds. He says, I am not the God of your fathers. Daniel 11:37. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. So that guy that wrote Superman, just according to Daniel 11:37, admitted that he saw in a vision when he was dying the Antichrist. That's what he just said, according to Daniel. And I have no idea how this just came about. I have no idea why I was researching that verse per se, because I wasn't really looking at it for any specific reason. But if you go on to watch the video that I did earlier tonight, almost like 20 minutes ago, something like that, I did a video explaining how these two guys that wrote comic books and were... Hey, Lindsay, how's it going? I did a video explaining how these two guys that did comic books about Superman and how Hal-El, which is Superman's name, is actually Satan's name in the Latin if it's translated and whatnot. So basically, that the second guy that's in the video, he admits that the being that talked to him when he was dying is the Antichrist based on Daniel 11:37. It's very strange that is what he said. Yeah, actually, Jody, that's weird that you said that, because Jackie and I were at... you're talking about Obama being a comic book character, I think, or superhero or whatever. Jackie and I were at the store the other day, at the bookstore, which was promoting originally Michelle Obama's book and the Book of Satanism on the front. We went in there. We haven't gone there in a long time, and I said we should go in there and look around to see if they have any used Bibles and whatnot, which they ended up having the mini Bibles, and I bought one and was able to give that to someone, so that was nice. But in the bookstore, Jackie found this comic book that was a bromance between Obama and Joe Biden. It's the weirdest thing. You would never expect it to be like an actual comic book. Hold on one second. Yeah, it's right here. Found it. It's hard to see, but this is it right here. The Adventures of Barry and Joe, Obama and Biden Romantic Battle for the Soul of America by Adam Reed, R-E-I-D. And that is a legit, real comic book. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, and here we have creepy Joe Biden, who touches little kids and women inappropriately all the time on national television, on the Congress floor and all that, getting an award by the Antichrist, and he's proud of it. And there's a lot of weird stuff that happens in that comic book. A lot of weird stuff. We just flip through it really quickly, and it's like Obama's coming to his bedside and like talking to him like in a spirit form and like kind of thing. It was like, I mean, you guys have seen me draw and stuff. Like, I was creeped out by this whole comic book. It was just the creepiest thing. It was like it was literally like it was like meant to be like if you could have like a friend like Jesus. It was meant to be like that. It was so weird. It was like, I can't even tell you. But yeah, I just was coming on quick tonight, guys. Sorry if you thought this was the actual the longer show. It was nice to see all of you for a short amount of time, but if you have a chance, check out part 1 is a little glitchy, but there's some good info that's in that video. It also shows you like the map I just got and stuff like that of Israel. So, and just a reading, like my little reading station that I read to you guys on it. I've never flipped my camera around, so you can check it out. So that's in the first video tonight, part 1, and then the second part is probably some of the best information I've ever put on any videos, in my opinion, just comparing and looking at the different things. So looking at the different things and how they match one another as far as like the satanic agenda and things like that, how they're trying to promote Superman. I don't know if you heard in this video, that kid was saying that they're the disciples and that they are promoting how did he say it? They're promoting like basically like the Greek gods, which are the fallen angels. They worship statues. So that's what he said. They're promoting mythology as almost like it's the Christian ideology. That's what they're doing, and they're using comic books to do it. And I mentioned in the video, the part Superman equals Satan part 2 tonight, that the way that the Lord showed it to me was he let me dream a dream of my wife Jackie cheating on me with Thor. But it wasn't like it didn't. He let me feel the pain of it, but he was showing me, this is what my people are doing, Jared. He said it like, this is what it was like to me. I felt all these things in my dream, and it was the tent that this was happening in was on top of. It's interesting. The earth is flat, and it's like set up like a tent. That's what the Lord says in the Bible. So it's like he's showing me the earth, and this is what people are doing in the earth. And he showed it to me. Where it was in my yard was in the garden that my grandfather had made for us when I was younger. And he always came over the house and would garden in my yard and then go back to his house. And he would like come to my house to fill up water jugs because we had a well. And so that was always my memory of him coming over and being in that garden. So the Lord showing me, this is what people are doing in my garden that I've planted. They are cheating on the Lord with a false god, Thor, which is Satan also. Thor is the god of lightning, and if you'll listen to these videos tonight, they say when the devil and the evil spirits come upon them, it was like lightning. And the guy that wrote the comic book Watchmen, I didn't mention this in the last video, when I was working at the place I was working before we moved to Texas for a year, I had walked around the building 7 times at lunch for a couple of weeks listening to Isaiah on my headphones. And as I came in, Lisa, Jonathan Clegg does a video about it, Thor being representative of Satan, and like Mount Olympus is God's throne, so he's exalting himself above God's throne. It's pretty complicated, but so when I was walking around the building 7 times and I'd come in from lunch, during that time, that's when the Lord showed me the first apocryphal text that I ever read. and it was the Acts of Thomas, when Thomas goes to India, because he's the disciple that got blocked to go to India, and he fought the snake that originally was cast out of the garden when God cast it out of the garden. And I put that together in another video I did as well. So basically, during that time, Watchmen, which was written by the guy that's the first person on this video who's into witchcraft, he created the comic book Watchmen. It depicts a different universe where Russia is trying to destroy us, and President Nixon is still the president, and these superheroes come in to, do whatever, and basically this one guy comes in, that one of the head superheroes he's like a billionaire, decides to destroy New York City. He lives in a pyramid like a pharaoh, just like the Antichrist would, and he destroys New York City in order to bring about world peace. That's what it says that's going to happen. That's what's printed on the money. Jonathan Clark prophesied that and was talking about that before Obama even came into office. And this guy is saying when he saw the light, that the light said to him, I am not the God of your fathers. It says right here, Daniel 11:37, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. And he's talking about the Antichrist. And I just looked this up yesterday because I was trying to find the verse. It just happened to be in the video that we're watching tonight. Just very, very strange. And so hopefully this makes some sense if you've watched part 1 and part 2. But I want to share that with everyone. But yeah, the reason I was mentioning that is because Watchmen the comic, it was the #1 most purchased graphic novel of all time. And a graphic novel is like a large comic book, usually. And the guy that made it was this guy at the beginning of part 2 who is into witchcraft. And he says basically that he became possessed. And he actually worships a serpent statue. So go take a look at this video if you have a chance to watch it. Hopefully it all makes sense, and hopefully this was a better explanation. And also, I hope that you can kind of put 2 and 2 together by watching that portion of the video, and that's at 31 minutes and 12 seconds. So God bless everybody. Thanks for stopping by for a few minutes to check out sort of part 3 of this continued on, and take care and have a great night, guys.